take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grande has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grande and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You hear me talk about 401ks every day on my radio show. Why? Because it's such a disservice. 89 million Americans have a 401k. There's 638,000 plans. And the father of the 401k, Ted Brenner, even admitted they're a scam. He doesn't endorse them anymore because of the ridiculous fees. You got to get away from those fees. Remember, every 1% fee, they take 30% of your retirement money. The average fund is 2.5%. 60% of the money is going to be gone when you're ready to retire. You don't need to do that. There's an alternative. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Seek out the alternative. Give yourself a break. philsgang.com. Sign up today.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
My name is Bill Kaufman, and I have been a gang member for 14 years. I am very excited and impressed with the new MV1 and MV2 software chart. I love the easy readability. Bill has added pre- and post-market candlesticks and the ability to create stock lists. The charts can now be viewed on your smartphone or tablet. I would recommend the Max Vector 1000 chart to any type of investment.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders. And now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. We're a teaching format. And boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated, but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
$30,000 for every man, woman, and child. That's irresponsible. It's unpatriotic.
We don't have an immediate crisis in terms of debt. In fact, for the next 10 years, it's going to be in a sustainable place. The deficit's been cut in half since I came into office.
You're right. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. It is driving me crazy. This election driving me nuts. I mean, what they come out with, what they say is just so bogus. Matter of fact, there was a headline in the newspaper today that said, after the election, data will show that in 2016 the U.S. was in a recession. No kidding. We never got out of the recession. When they say, oh, we got out of the recession and Obama policies got us out of a recession, we never got out of recession because we never fixed what was wrong. I tell you that 100 times a day. We never fixed what was wrong. What recovery? What recovery? The economy is collapsing because consumers are great consumers. Oh, God, they're so, what they always say they're what's the word they use? Resilient. How many times you hear that word? They're resilient. Really? The economy's collapsing because consumers, after they service their debts, they have no discretionary income left and wish to drive the economy with purchases. Doesn't anyone get that? That's why we got to have a change. We got to have a change. Our national debt has doubled under these policies. Our poverty has increased by 8 million people. Food stamps doubled. Matter of fact, what am I saying doubled? Up 111%. Disability checks have doubled. You know how many disability checks, the fraud in disability checks? Disability checks, the government pays you not to work. In 2009, we had 7 million disability checks. Now we have 14 million. A person receives an average of $2,600 a month tax-free. Then he gets his insurance free. He gets housing free. Are you kidding? They're making more than a first-year grammar school teacher, for God's sakes. What recovery? And what really gets me is these years of zero interest rates since 2008. Zero interest rates. Would someone please tell me what good we got out of zero interest rates? What sense did it make to have zero interest rates with this high inflation? Anybody going to a movie lately? See what it costs for a ticket, a box of popcorn, and a drink? Oh, they tell us there's no inflation now. The high inflation is eating away the real value of money. So we just keep printing more. zero rates? What sense does it make to have high price earnings ratios at 20? The S&P's at 20. What does it make? What sense does it make to have PE ratios so high with this zero interest rates? When the consumer market can't expand. So here you got PE ratios at 20, but the consumer market can't expand. What sense does that make? What sense does it make to have a stable dollar when the Federal Reserve has created far more dollars by printing them than the economy has created goods and services? We keep printing and printing and printing, but we cannot create enough goods and services because our CEOs are too busy taking money and buying their shares back instead of pulling it back into the companies with new machinery and new products. What sense does it make to undermine the financial condition of pension funds and the insurance companies with zero interest rates, leaving them with no fixed income hedge against the stock market? It makes no sense. See, we're in a trap. We're in this trap in which the collapse is the only way out. We got to collapse. This market's got to collapse. They got to let the market collapse this time. Don't come in like Bush did and prop it up. Our only out is to let the market collapse. Let's get back to a free market. We don't have a free market system anymore. It's been interfered by the government. They interfered in the stock market every day. You and I, we no longer make a decision between us what a fair price on a stock is. That's what the market's about. You and I bid back and forth. We decide what the fair price of a stock is. No more. We're not included. The government decides the price of the stock. We're in a trap. We need to collapse. Oh, and we're going to get one, believe me. We're going to get one. If interest rates reflected the real rate of inflation, the hundreds of trillions in derivatives would blow up. We have hundreds, and nobody ever talks about the derivatives anymore. Ever notice that? No, I wish Trump would talk about the next time I talk. I'm going to talk. Go start talking about these derivatives. No one talks about the trillions in derivatives we have. They're going to blow up. I mean, if these interest rates really reflect the real rate of inflation, which they don't, but let's say they did, the hundreds of trillions of derivatives would blow up and the stock market would collapse, the biggest collapse in history. That's unbelievable. And when the bubble does pop and the market crash does come, the corporations that used profits and then borrowed money at 0%, not to plow back into the company to buy machinery, build new facilities, give raises to those who've worked hard, put money into R&D, research and development. Instead, the CEOs who bought back their own company stocks in order to keep the price high, and thereby executive bonuses would go high, and the major shareholders, the institutions, Wall Street, all happy because they make a fortune, while Main Street suffers. Are you nuts? This is what you call a recovery? Things are going good? She's going to raise rates. She's going to raise rates on this background. Are you out of your mind? She can't be that stupid, is she? This was not an accident that all this happened. It was designed. The architect was Obama and Hillary. Hillary's going to replace him, doing what he set out to do, to purposely destroy American capitalism in favor of socialism by smothering us in regulations, innovation, investment, under the weight of increased taxes. Oh, you watch these taxes. This was all by design. The Environmental Protection Agency, complying with the agency rules, now require 188 million, get this, 188 million paperwork hours, the equivalent of 95,000 Americans working full-time for a year. The federal government collects $3 trillion in revenue. $3 trillion. Unfortunately, they spend more than that. They spend $3.8 trillion. This is nuts. And per the U.S. Government Accountability Office, when the government spends more than it collects in revenues, the resulting debt is borne by tomorrow's workers and taxpayers, our children and grandchildren. This is unbelievable. This is all not by accident, but by design. We'll be right back after this break. 15 past the hour here on Phil's Gang.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Do you invest in a 401k or an IRA? Did you know you could lose 30, 40, even 50% of your investments when the market crashes? It's time you take control of your investments. For over 15 years, philsgang.com's Phil Grande has been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members, making profits when the market is up or down. philsgang.com posts daily market updates, has a live investing class, and all material is archived. Sounds too good to be true? Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're a teaching format, and boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated, but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You hear me talk about 401ks every day on my radio show. Why? Because it's such a disservice. 89 million Americans have a 401k. There's 638,000 plans. And the father of the 401k, Ted Brenner, even admitted they're a scam. He doesn't endorse them anymore because of the ridiculous fees. You got to get away from those fees. Remember, every 1% fee, they take 30% of your retirement money. The average fund is 2.5%. 60% of the money is going to be gone when you're ready to retire. You don't need to do that. There's an alternative. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Seek out the alternative. Give yourself a break. philsgang.com. Sign up today.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Phil Grande is a career businessman who has also been an entrepreneur all his life. He has used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grande has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grande and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com. You're listening to the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande. Be sure to check out the all-new Phil's Gang website at philsgang.com. Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang Max Investor 1000 Stock Charts.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. It is 21 past the hour here in Phil's Gang. To join my gang, make sure you're going to join the gang. You get your free MV2 for 4 weeks. That's my MV2 chart, color-coded technology. It works beautiful. It tells you when to get in, when to get out, based on the companies, the institutions. That's right. The institutions are the ones that move your stock up or move your stock down. I'll give you an example. Listen to this. This is unbelievable. I'll play it.
Nick in Florida, Nick!
Chipotle has been stuck in a red from verses. However, the company keeps buying back stock. It's hard to abandon Chipotle when their own company shows tremendous confidence.
I know the chart's horrible. I know the same-store sales are terrible right now. I mean, everyone knows that. But I said you have to wait 18 months for the last incident before you start really having to come back. Have we waited those 18 months yet? No! Don't get too excited until we put that time between us.
Why put that time between you? I don't get that. Give me an example. I'm putting it up my chart right now, and you can see this, obviously, if you go to my site, if you have a mobile device or you're in your computer, just go to philsgang.com and just click live, the radio, and you can see this. Now, this is stupid. Institutional money, the pension funds, the 401ks, the hedge funds, were pulling their money out. They started to pull their money out back on August 4th. And then just on August 25th, we started to see it turn to green. So it went from $402, and it went to $402, and now it's at $416. Now it's up 3%. Now this is a $400 stock. It's up 3%. Okay, what's wrong with that? What are you going to wait 18 months for? Here, let me give you another one. What if it keeps going? Or let's say tomorrow it turns red, tells you to get out. All right, you get out, and then you short it. Here, I'll give you an example. When it was green back in June 3rd, it was around $441, and then it turned red. It turned red at right around $435. Now, why wait 18 months? It dropped all the way down to $396. Now, why would I wait? That's a 9% gain. I would just have shorted it. I would just push the button, sell short, because the color code turned from green to red. And then, just like I said to you, it just turned now from red to green. That's the beautiful thing about the color code technology. You don't have to think of buying a stock and I got to buy it right at the right place. I got to get in. I got to know what's going on with the company. You've got to know what's going on with the company. You've got to know what's going on with earnings or market cap. You don't know any of that. All you got to know is, hey, when it turns green, I'm getting out. And it gives you, or turns red rather, I'm getting out. And the beautiful thing about turning red, why get out? Just flip your position where you say, I'm going to sell short. It's a beautiful product. And you haven't got to know anything about the company. Banks. Now, this week here, just give you an example. I told my gang this week, or actually 2 weeks ago, I said, we got to keep watching the bank stocks. Matter of fact, it was more than that. I said, we got to keep watching the bank stocks because the bank stocks are not going up. They're not going up. And we got to watch these stocks because they're gonna start moving up. They got to move up. If they're not going to do quantitative easing, if they're not going to do QE4, where they're going to come in and start doing bond buying, okay, keep those 10-year treasuries, those yields, interest rates way down. If they're not going to do that, then they're going to have to they're going to have to push the bank stocks up to get everybody to start buying stocks. And exactly is what's happening right now. So it started, though, the bank stocks, like our favorite, Bank of America, on June 30. It started to turn green. Now, it turned green at $13.37. $13.37. And it's still green today at $16.20. Now, that's a 21% gain. Now, even if you didn't get the whole 21%, I'm not suggesting my gang members who have the MV2 got it all. I'm not suggesting that. Some got in later. What if you got in halfway up? Let's say you got in at $14 to $16. What's wrong with 14 to 16? That's a 15% return. So even if you got in late, but it works. It works. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It works. And you don't have to depend on anybody. That's the beautiful thing. That's when I created this MV2, I wanted a person who was the carpenter, who was a mason, a plumber, an air conditioning specialist, somebody who worked in a retail store. I wanted you to be able to say, look, I don't have time. I'm a hardworking guy, but gee, I'm upset. I can't. My retirement's going to be coming up, and I'm just not going to have enough money. I know it. This way here, you don't need time for. You don't need a broker. You don't need a genius. You don't need to know anything about the company. You don't have to say, I got to call the broker to find out about Bank of America, what it's doing. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You don't have to depend on a broker. You don't have to depend on anybody except your chart. So for 4 weeks, try it. If you think I'm making this up, try it. I'm giving it to you for free to try. But what a beautiful thing. You lay drywall. You're busy all day. What a tough job that is. But how much money are you going to make with your hands as a drywaller? How much are you going to make with your hands as a mason? My dad was a mason. How much are you going to make? A dentist. How much are you going to make with your hands? Not much. You can't. You're going to get extra hands? You got to get the money to work for you. So if you work with your hands, then get the money to work for you. It's like having an extra set of hands. Doesn't that make sense? So you just buy the stock when it's green, and you sell it when it's red. And if it doesn't work after 4 weeks, you're going to say, this is great. This is great. Call 877-600-GANG. Get your free MV2 chart.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Do you invest in a 401k or an IRA? Did you know you could lose 30, 40, even 50% of your investments when the market crashes? It's time you take control of your investments. For over 15 years, Phil'sGang.com's Phil Grande has been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members, making profits when the market is up or down. Phil'sGang.com posts daily market updates, has a live investing class, and all material is archived. Sounds too good to be true? Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. It's always about fees. That's right. It's always about fees. When you're investing in anything, it's about fees, but especially 401ks. Let me explain to you how you get screwed with a 401k. Nobody will tell you this. You'll be told with a $25,000 investment, your 401k will return 7%, and over 30 years, you'll retire with a nest egg of $226,000 with a fee of 0.5%. That is a lie. Do you know if you just bump it from 0.5% to 1.5%, that $226,000 drops to $160 with 2% fee? It drops to $123. But you know what most fees are? 3%. So you're going to drop almost below $100,000. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and get rid of that 401k. It is not for your benefit.
Isn't it time you reduce your fear of investing? Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, there's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil's Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
My name is Bill Kaufman, and I have been a gang member for 14 years. I am very excited and impressed with the new MV1 and MV2 software chart. I love the easy readability. Bill has added pre- and post-market candlesticks and the ability to create stock lists. The charts can now be viewed on your smartphone or tablet. I would recommend the Max Vector 1000 chart to any type of investment.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Money, 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 can you use?
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Well, George Will, has he had a change of heart about Trump?
Technically, George, this is a change election. It should be a change election if you look at the dynamics of election after election after election.
It is, and it's a wonder at this point that Mr. Trump hasn't been able to take advantage of that. We just finished a lost decade in this country, a decade in which we had not 1 year of 3% economic growth. The economy is not growing at all right now. And in this atmosphere, which cries out for change, the candidate who's been a national figure now for 20, 30 years is ahead. It makes no sense.
Sure, it makes sense. Sure, it does. Think about it. What everybody's forgetting is this. We've been on this road to socialism for a long time. 8 years. 8 years. It started before that. But 8 years of solid, hey, I'm going to change this country. You've heard him. He wasn't up front with us about changing to socialism. But right now, Trump's going around and he's trying to get the African American vote. He's going to the inner cities. There's a lot of welfare. And he's beside himself. No matter what poll he takes, 98% of African Americans in these inner cities are going to still vote for Hillary. They would re-vote for Obama, even though Obama, the Democratic Party, have done nothing for the African American. They took him off the plantation and they put him in ghettos. They've done nothing. The unemployment rate is outrageous. They did nothing. But why is it? And forget just the African Americans. Let's just count the people who are on welfare. I mean, just take, for example, the disability checks where our country, or this administration, I should say, pays people not to work. When he got into office, there were 7 million people on disability checks collecting an average of $2,600 a month. Now there's over 14 million, double. Here's what's going on. There's so many people in this country getting free stuff. They don't care about ISIS. They don't care about the economy. The stuff that we talk about every day, they don't care. They don't get it. They don't want to know. It makes no difference in their lives. You could sit here and talk GDP all day long. You could sit and talk revenues. You could talk margins. You could talk for 5 quarters. Negative growth. Companies aren't growing. As long as people are getting a lot of stuff for nothing. And this is what the Democrats have done. Destroyed this country. Not give people a hand up, but handouts. And that's why Trump is behind. It's amazing to think how bad this country is, what they've done to this country. They destroyed it. You would think he'd be 10 points, 20 points ahead. There's just too many people who want free stuff. Because that's the mentality. It's not their fault. That's what the Democrats do. Remember I told you the other day? The Democrats are not for helping the poor. They're for making the poor poorer. Because there'd be no Democrats if they fixed it. It's just like this thing in raising rates is so stupid. They can't raise rates. Do people understand they can't? They destroyed this country so badly they can't raise rates for a long time. Think about it. She can't raise rates. A hike in interest rates will increase the cost of financing government borrowings. Think about how much more the government's going to have to pay. It would easily add between $1 trillion and $2 trillion to our debt, our national debt of $19 trillion over the next 5-10 years. Just a 0.5% rate increase, a 0.5% rate, would add $100 billion to the $222 billion that we now pay in interest on the $20 trillion national debt. That doesn't count the $76 trillion we owe for Medicare and Medicaid. A 0.5% rate hike would raise that bill from $222 billion to $322 billion. The economy is not growing fast enough. You can't raise rates unless the economy can absorb it. You got to have the economy growing at a quick pace. We're not even at 3%. How are you going to absorb $100 billion on top of $222 billion, which really right now is $400 billion? So it's going to be $500 billion, because if you take the $222 billion and you take the $76 trillion, I mean, you're talking. This is nuts. This is nuts. That would result, if we did this, and she raised rates, she knows this. Do you know what happened next? Taxes would just go through the roof. She'd have to raise taxes. Unbelievable. The next president has to raise taxes. And what happens when you raise taxes? You reduce economic activity. It reduces any kind of infrastructure spending, our roads, our schools. Our economic growth would be destroyed. There'd be no future. There is no way she can raise rates because they destroyed this country. We haven't had, like George Will said, we haven't even reached, he's the only president that's never reached a 3% economic growth. And she's going to take this over and make it worse. Because the worse it gets, the more poverty we'll have, and the more the Democrats will win, and there'll never be another Republican president for decades. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Republicans lose this race, there will not be a Republican president for, who knows, 100 years. Because you take another 8 years of what we've just been through with more free stuff, it'll be over. It'll be over. Even the guy who's aggressive is going to give up and not work. There's no incentive to work because they don't reward people who work. They punish you. They even punish the person on welfare. If he decides he wants to get an extra job and make an extra $20 that week or an extra $100, he loses his benefits. The government says, no, I'll take your benefits away. Who's running this railroad? It's unbelievable. The number of full-time jobs have gone down by 1 million since he's taken over. Our part-time jobs have increased by 84% under his policies, which Hillary says, you vote for me, we're going to have the same policies, which he has not got credit for. Increased 84% part-time jobs, or 3.2 million. There are now 1.2 million fewer jobs in the mid and higher wage industries than the day Obama became president because of his policies. And there are 2.3 million more jobs in the lower wage sectors. We have more jobs being created in the lower wage, about 1 million more, than in the higher wage sectors. We have 300,000 fewer manufacturing jobs since 2009. The median household incomes have dropped by 24%. This is crazy. You think she's going to raise rates? No, it's a game. So what are we going to do? Continue to make money. Because now that the stock market has nothing to do with the economy, we are just going to sit here with our MV2, and when we have a stock like Bank of America, we're going to buy that stock, and we're going to make 20% or 10%. Or we're going to take our other stock, which we don't have to know anything about, MPC, which is a refiner. And MPC, that's been a great stock for us. That's up 20. We bought that in June. And it's up 23% because it went from red to green. Join my gang right now and get the MV2 before we close the program out. It's free. Call now. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Everybody says, I hear it everywhere, no matter where I go, I'm not going to get into the stock market because it's rigged. And I think, what are you, nuts? That's exactly why I want to get into the market. Here, listen to this.
We front-loaded at the Federal Reserve an enormous rally in order to accomplish the wealth effect.
But we front-loaded at the Federal Reserve an enormous rally. So are you telling me you don't want to get into a market where they front-loaded an enormous rally, where they fixed it to go up? You don't want to get in? What are you, nuts? Of course you want to get in. See, your fear is Once you get in, you're fearful you're not going to get out in time. Well, that fear is gone. That's why I designed the Max Investor 1000 for the color code technology. It'll get you out before it crashes. Believe me. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Isn't it time you reduce your fear of investing? Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. We're a teaching format, and boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated is so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. Phil Grande is a career businessman who's also been an entrepreneur all his life. He's used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine with the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grande has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grande and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You hear me talk about 401ks every day on my radio show. Why? Because it's such a disservice. 89 million Americans have a 401k. There's 638,000 plans. And the father of the 401k, Ted Brenner, even admitted they're a scam. He doesn't endorse them anymore because of the ridiculous fees. You got to get away from those fees. Remember, every 1% fee, they take 30% of your retirement money. The average fund is 2.5%. 60% of the money is going to be gone when you're ready to retire. You don't need to do that. There's an alternative. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Seek out the alternative. Give yourself a break. philsgang.com. Sign up today.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. You're listening to The Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande. Be sure to check out the all-new Phil's Gang website at philsgang.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, remember, here's the number, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Now, I want to help St. Jude. We've been doing this for 15 years, this program, to help St. Jude. So I'm going to reach out to you to help. We need $1.7 million a day to open up those doors. And remember, 82 cents every dollar goes to St. Jude. This is not like the Clinton's Foundation, for God's sakes. Do you know 9.9% is what goes to charity on every dollar you send them? That's it. 10% of every dollar goes to charity. That's it. What a deal. Over 80 cents goes to charity at St. Jude. So let's work together. Let's help them. I'm going to give you the MV2 free for 4 weeks with a membership. You can cancel the membership at the end of the month if you don't like it, and you Just don't, you won't get billed for the MV2 because you'll be done with that too. But it's a good program. I mean, it really is. It's for the person. If you're driving right now and you know you're busy, you don't get involved with stocks, but you also know you're facing a problem. You're not creating enough money. You're not creating enough money. You have one set of hands. And time runs fast, boy, when you get older. So this is the way to do it. And I'm going to give you an opportunity, so I'm not going to charge you for it because I know you're going to love it. And you're a busy person, and all you do is just take the Dow 30 stock. Just follow like 3 of those or 5 of those. That's all. Take 5 and follow them. When they turn red, you don't buy. When it turns green, you get in. Turns red again, get out. Or better yet, stay in and sell short. Here's the number. 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. This way, you are going to gain because you're going to start making money. St. Jude's going to gain. It's a win-win for everybody. At the end of 4 weeks, I'm not going to give one of these money guaranteed back. You get your money back if you don't like it. I'm just going to give it to you for free right out of the gate. What better deal is that? And being a gang member for $39.95, are you nuts? Nobody gives the value I give in a teaching format. Nobody. Live classroom. When the market's open, we're live, investing in a live environment so you can see what we do. Updates all day long. The best coffee talk ever before the market opens. Give you my commentary on the market, what I think is going to happen that day. At the end of the market, I give you another commentary, what I think went on during the day, what's going to happen. Now, nobody does that for $39.95. So call now, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG, before we shut the program down, okay? All right, now, you got to have some fun with this. Listen to this. Mosquito, right? All right. Now, that has to do here in Florida. We have a real problem. We have what they call the Zika problem. And the mosquito carries this disease. Now, this is what Obama said about it.
Extremely concerned about the Zika virus. So my administration's done what we can on our own. You can play a role in protecting future generations. Because Zika can be spread through unprotected sex, it's not just women who need to be careful, men do too. That includes using condoms properly.
It's our president. But listen to what our governor said. Remember what Obama said? He's giving us all the tips. Use condoms and all the stuff. He's really working on it hard. Really?
We're going to make sure we have all the resources we need. It's frustrating. The federal government's not been a good partner, but I can tell you the state will put up all the resources.
The federal government has not been a good partner. They've done nothing here in Florida. And he comes out and says, oh, yeah, look, he contributed an idea. Yeah, you better use condoms. What's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with this guy? It's the stock market. The stock market needs help. That's unbelievable. Here's what's going on and nobody's talking about it. Because nobody really understands the bond market and the stock market. It's a little complicated. But just think about this. The bond market is never wrong. A bond. When you hear about a 10-year bond, you hear the yield. That's the interest rate. When you buy a bond, the value of the bond goes up. Okay? The value of the bond goes up. As interest rates push up, the bond rate goes up. What you want to do is make sure you keep that. You want to make sure you keep that yield down. You want to make sure that yield stays down, that the bond yield stays low. Because if that bond yield keeps going up, then that means on a 10-year treasury, your house payment gets more expensive, your credit cards get more expensive, everything gets more expensive. So what they've been doing is they've been keeping the bond yield real low, and we got to give credit where it's due. That is because the oil-producing countries, they come over and buy our debt. We have between $800 billion and $1 trillion a year, depending on what year it is, that we spend more than we take in, 800 to $1 trillion. So we got to get that money from somewhere. We got to pay our bills. So we go to an oil-producing country. They come over here. They give us, let's say it was $800 billion, we run short. They gave us the $800 billion. We hand them a 10-year bond, 10-year Treasury note, and they get an interest rate of 1.5%. It's not a lot, but they get the 1.5%. You want to keep that. You want to keep that yield low, as low as you can. So you need people buying these bonds. Well, the biggest problem we got right now, because by buying bonds, you keep that yield low. As I said, your credit card stays low, your house mortgage stays low. So that's very important. But we got a big problem right now. The oil-producing countries, their oil price is so low, they're not buying as many bonds. In the last year, they bought $354 billion less bonds. So that means the interest rate's going to start going up. The interest rate's going to start going up. If that interest rate keeps going up, then your car payment goes up. Your MasterCard, your credit cards go up. But here's the worst thing. When that interest rate goes up, the Fed rate goes up. That's a different rate. You have two rates. You have the long-term rate, which is the 10-year Treasury, which affects your house mortgage and your car and credit card and so forth. Then you have the short-term. The short-term Fed rate is the rate at which the Federal Reserve charges the banks for the money. The banks borrow from the Federal Reserve money. And right now it's at near 0%. And they take that money and they loan it to you. Most of the time they're loaning it to businesses. And most of the time they're loaning it to government. There's the problem. That's why they can't raise rates. So we got a real problem here. If we keep going the way we're going and the oil-producing countries are buying less and less of our bonds and our rates start going up, our economy is really going to tank. So they're going to have to do what they call QE. Another QE. What does QE do? QE, they print money, and then the Federal Reserve, will take that money and she'll start buying bonds. She'll take the place of the oil companies, the oil producing countries. She'll buy all the bonds herself to keep those yields low. And then she'll take more money, and when they do that, they'll print more money and stick it in the stock market to push stocks higher. The last time was $3.3 trillion. They print more money and they give it to the companies. Last time was $5.3 billion to buy their own shares back. So the stock will go up without having profits. Imagine that. They'll do another $7 trillion to give the hedge funds to go buy stocks. So that means we're going to have the stock market go up 50-60% from where it is if they do QE4. They have no choice. They're going to have to. Rates aren't going up. What's going to go up next is the next QE. And you want to be prepared for that. When these stocks start turning green, you want to have the MV2. But here's the more important one, why you want it. When the market gets ready to crash, which it will, we'll have the biggest crash ever, then that MV2 will be there to identify for you when the money is being pulled out. Stock markets just don't crash in a second or two or overnight or in one day. It takes time. The MV2 will start turning red, give you enough signal to get out before it drops. That's a beautiful thing. So try it for 4 weeks free. And you'll see the color, it works. The color technology works. The green to red, it works. So here's the number, 877-600-GANG. You just have to join the gang for 1 month. It's $39.95, but you get the MV2 free, which is $24.95. You get it free. But I'm going to tell you, you don't want to miss the next QE. And what you don't want to miss when you're in there, when to get out. Because the market will go up another 50% when they do QE. See you on the charts. Call now, 877-600-GANG. They're waiting for your call.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.